The royal concerns over messy BBC Bombshel will set up awkward relationship with press. The BBC documentary analysed the fractured relationship between British newspapers and Prince William and Prince Harry, and detailed the events that caused it. There were testimonies of phone hacking and other tactics to gain information about the princes and anyone associated with them. The host, Amol Rajan, stated, "One prince is choosing to play the game, the other is trying to change the rules of the game." Sunrise host Edwina Bartholomew spoke to Europe Bureau Chief Hugh Whitfield about the documentary. Ms. Bartholomew said, "Royal households have issued a stunning rebuke to the BBC for airing a new documentary about Princes William and Harry. Hugh, are senior royals including the Queen herself not happy about this?" Mr. Whitfield stated, "There was pretty widespread concern Eddie before this documentary even aired, and it's clear that the royal households were nervous because they issued this stinging statement before even seeing the broadcast of the documentary. It was essentially a behind-the-scenes look at the relationship between the press and the royals, and at times it can obviously be quite messy." One man conceded that he was a private investigator employed by a newspaper to investigate the life of one of Harry's ex-girlfriends, so it doesn't make the press look terribly good. He added, "Buckingham Palace, Clarence House, and Kensington Palace, they're the three royal households representing the Queen, Charles, and Camilla, and the Cambridges and at the time, the Sussexes as well." The claim was that they were briefing against each other, essentially leaking negative stories about other members of the royal family. Omid Scobie said, "There's been rumors for quite some time that a lot of the most damaging and negative stories about Harry and Meghan that have ended up in the pages of the press have come from other royal households, or from other royal aides or supporters, and from my own reporting and research, that is exactly true." Mr. Whitfield added, "That's Omid Scobie. He's very much in the Sussexes camp. He wrote the Finding Freedom book that basically chronicled the lives of Harry and Meghan over the last couple of years. It did, though, prompt three royal households to release an unprecedented joint statement, and it said that, too often overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone including the BBC gives them credibility." Now, obviously, the Sussexes aren't included in that group of households anymore. It is also clear that the relationship between the royal family and the BBC is very much broken down right now. There is still another part of the documentary to come. The documentary uncovered the strategies that publications would do to obtain scoops on the brothers. One private investigator claimed that he was employed to go after Harry's ex, Chelsea Davy. He said, "There was a lot of surveillance work on her phones, on her comms. Chelsea would brag to her friends when she was going to see him." He even claimed that the ruthless culture led to them trying to obtain medical records, saying, "Yeah, medical records. Had she had an abortion, sexual diseases, ex-boyfriends, vet them, check them." The first episode of The Princes and the Press largely details the growing interest and intense media coverage surrounding the brothers, from the Queen's Diamond Jubilee in 2012 to the Sussexes' 2018 wedding. William and Harry's relationship with the media was formed fundamentally from their childhood and their experiences of their mother's relationship with the media, royal contributor Victoria Murphy said. "And that has absolutely shaped everything about how they both see the media. But we've seen as they both get older, how that's manifested itself in different ways and the different paths that they have taken." The documentary features a range of UK journalists who claim there was an unspoken deal between the royals and the press about the access they granted reporters for favourable coverage. Tim Ewart, ITV royal editor from 2009 to 2017, said in the new documentary that the media, particularly the tabloids, are like a puppy. They will roll over and let you tickle their tummy for a while, but eventually, they'll bite you. But the deal changed over the years with Harry's growing hatred of the media and claims of Kate failing to play the game. The photographers felt that she wasn't giving them the best shot. She was using her hair to hide her face, Ewart said. Gavin Burrows, a former private investigator once hired by British tabloids, said in the documentary that he and the press had been ruthless in their pursuit of the princes, hacked into the royals' cell phones and dubbed Harry in the early 2000s as the new Diana. "I basically was part of a group of that robbed him of his normal teenage years," he said. The documentary also dives into the rift between the brothers and the allegedly divided households and headlines of Meghan being Duchess difficult. What was interesting and what did emerge from the documentary was this idea of kind of a build-up of whispers that had been going on for some time before critical stories were published about the fact that things were not all well, Murphy said. Just hours before the documentary hit UK airwaves, Prince William kept calm and carried on with his duties and appeared at a royal event to honour wildlife conservationists. Were briefing against each other, essentially leaking negative stories about other members of the royal family. Omid Scobie said, "There's been rumors for quite some time that a lot of the most damaging and negative stories about Harry and Meghan that have ended up in the pages of the press have come from other royal households, or from other royal aides or supporters, and from my own reporting and research, that is exactly true." Mr. Whitfield added, "That's Omid Scobie. He's very much in the Sussexes camp. He wrote the Finding Freedom book that basically chronicled the lives of Harry and Meghan over the last couple of years. It did, though, prompt 3 royal households to release an unprecedented joint statement, and it said that too often overblown and unfounded claims from unnamed sources are presented as facts, and it is disappointing when anyone, including the BBC, gives them credibility. Now, obviously,